Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ellie and this week we have another TBR Takedown vlog. So it is Monday, it is like 6:30 in the evening, so I am starting this very late, but I started a new job today and yeah, I just didn't really film anything because I was super nervous for that. But it's time to pick a new trope for the week and pick some books. Now I'm really in the mood for like a cowboy romance, but I don't know if I'm going to manage to read a whole week of them. I feel like it could put me in a slump, but I don't know, I'm hoping it's going to be something romance based. So I have the trope cup. There's not actually that much in there. I feel like I need to have a look on my shelves and come up with some more tropes, but last week we had fantasy, so let's see what we are going to be reading this week. Sports romances. Okay, I can live with that. It's not the cowboy, but it's still romance. So the way I am working sports romance is that it doesn't include hockey, simply because I have a full shelf of hockey romances that are on my TBR, so I'm leaving that separate. So sports romances are like football, basketball, baseball, soccer, F1, anything but hockey basically. So I'm excited for this actually. Let's have a look at what sports romances I have on my TBR. So this is my sports romance shelf. So as I said, as you can see here, this is all hockey romance, and I think there are a couple of hockey romances here actually with some of these, but the books I have actually read, I have read Throttled, Redeemed, Quarterback Sneak, Mile High and The Right Move, so I can pick any of the other books on here. Pulled forward then we have all of the non-hockey romances, although to be fair, because I do have a load of hockey there and a load of hockey there, maybe depending on how it's going during the week I might pick up a hockey romance. But yeah, here is what we have to choose from, and I'm finding it quite hard to decide, so I might just put them all in like a random generator and see which book comes out, and I will insert the clip. Yeah, it's just going to help me make my decision, so I'll do that now and I'll insert the clip as to what the first book of the week is going to be. So we have a winner. We have Caught Up by Liz Ford. This is the third book in the Windy City series. You might have noticed I didn't put Play Along, the fourth book, on the series because obviously I hadn't read this one yet. I think this is a single dad and a nanny romance, which is a trope I typically really like, and all the ones that I read recently have been 5 stars. The first 2 books in the series have also been 5 stars. So this probably isn't the one I would have picked because I'm anticipating it so much. I don't know about anyone else, but I always seem to put off books that I'm really looking forward to reading, and I think that's why I just get myself in slumps and why my TBR gets so long, because I just put off books that I think I'm gonna love and I just lose the enjoyment of reading by doing that. So we have a highly anticipated 5-star read for the first book of the week. This is 470 pages, so it's probably going to take me a couple of days. So I said that this was a single dad nanny romance, but obviously it's a sports romance. So our male main character Kai is a pitcher on Chicago's Major League Baseball team, and the heroine is a pastry chef, and she has 2 months off and somehow ends up becoming a nanny for our hero's son. And it says this is over the summer and it's someone else. I feel like this is just going to be the perfect read. I'm so excited. I might actually start it right now and I'll check in when I've read a chapter or 2. I've read the first 2 chapters of Caught Up now, and I'm really liking how this is all starting out. So we obviously have Kai, our single dad, and he became a single dad when he had a one-night stand, and when his son was 6 months old, the mother basically just like dumped him on him, and he is kind of deciding whether he wants to continue playing baseball because he feels like he is missing out on being with his son. And then we have Miller, our heroine. A few months time She has a magazine interview and a new job with a chef that she has always admired. She was working in Miami when she quits the kitchen that she was currently working in. She's kind of found herself with some spare time before she has to be in Los Angeles, so her dad is suggesting that, oh, her dad's the coach of the baseball team, but her dad is about to suggest that she becomes the nanny for Kai's son, as he just keeps firing them all. I think this is going to be really cute. I like the setup. I like that we have alternative POVs in this. I really love that in a romance when you get to see it from both sides. Don't know how much more of this I'm actually going to get to reading tonight because I'm quite tired, but yeah, I just think that has all of the makings of a 5-star read. It is Wednesday. I didn't film anything yesterday because my anxiety was super high, which meant I hardly read anything. I had work this morning. I've tried to read a little bit. I've only read like 6 pages today. I'm currently up to page 38, so I haven't read anywhere near as much as I was hoping to have done, but I am now not in work until Wednesday next week, so I've actually got like a week off now, which is quite nice and unexpected, but I'm going to start my proper shift in hours from next week, so I'm hoping to be able to get a bit more of this in. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. I'm going to a book signing at a Waterstones. I can't remember the author's name. I'll insert a picture of the book. It's a cowboy romance I've been really wanting to read, and I thought, why not go along to the signing? So I'm going there with Shannon, but I feel like there's nothing really to update on with the story because I'm like not even 50 pages in. But the point we're at is Kai has just been told that Miller is going to be the new nanny for his son, and she has literally just shown up for her first kind of shift as the nanny. I wouldn't say I'm loving it so far, but I just know I'm in a bit of a slump still, so that's probably why I still have extremely high expectations though. So I'm gonna see if I can get to 50 pages at least tonight. It's Thursday. It is the evening that we are going to the book signing. I read a little bit more of Caught Up yesterday. I think I did reach the 50 pages. It's 2 o'clock, so I'm meeting Shannon from work. She's getting out at 3:45, so we're gonna have a look around the city centre, look at some of the shops, go to some of the charity shops, I think, have a look in Primark until she finishes, and I'm just really looking forward to this evening. I am now home from the author event at Waterstones. It was such a lovely evening. We got some bookish goodies, so I will show you those first. I didn't already own a copy of the book, so I purchased one alongside my ticket, which was Live, Ranch, Love by Emma Lucy, and she signed it, which is always exciting, and we got a picture with her as well after the Q&A. And then they had these like goodie bags on the chairs when we first came in that were like cowboy themed. So many people were dressed up. I was trying to find some cowboy boots to wear with my dress, but I just didn't find any in time. But it was like so cool to see everyone dressed up. But we got some character art prints. So this is the first one, and then this is the second one, which are definitely going to go on my wall there. And then are they called like gibbets or something that you put on Crocs? We got these. It just has like a heart and a horse. I don't own Crocs, so don't really know what I'm going to do with that one. We got a couple of stickers. So we got like some cowboy disco, some cowboy boots, and it's like a disco ball that says "Let's Go Girls." And then we got a little cowboy hat keychain and a little thank you note, which was super cute because all I knew was we paid for like a ticket in the book. I didn't know we were getting any of the freebies, but they had a table set out with lemonade and things. It was all included, so it was just really lovely. This is the second time that I've gone to a author talk at Waterstones. The first one was Catherine Webber in April. I was supposed to go to one in February with Sophie Mackenzie, but I was really ill on that day, so I had to cancel it, although I think she's due back in my local Waterstones before the end of the year, so I might go to that one. But it's just so fun to just sit and listen to authors talk about their books, what their favourites are, about their writing process. So I have not read this book. I had been really wanting to, which is why I wanted to go tonight. So it's going to be really fun reading this after meeting the author. But it's just really inspired me. If you haven't watched my channel before, I am working on a book series with my best friend that we are co-writing together, and I also have like some other ideas that I'm currently working on by myself, and just going to these events and hearing authors talk is just so inspiring, and I just want to come home and write. But aside from that, this is supposed to be reading sports romance for a week. We're on Thursday and we've not even hit 100 pages, which is not how I was hoping that this vlog was gonna go. But the reading update, I'm still on Caught Up. I'm on page 86, which is the start of chapter 10. I think I'm just going to sit and read, because bookish events just make me so, like I said, motivated to write, but also motivated to read. Like, I just come out and I just love reading. I love books, and I just want to sit and read or sit and write. So because I'm just in such a good mood, like I feel like I've been in such a slump, but honestly tonight just hearing her talk has got me out of this reading slump, and I'm just so inspired to sit and read. So I'm hoping that I'm going to make a decent chunk of this and hopefully finish it by the weekend. I was hoping this week I was going to read at least 2, potentially even 3 books, which is clearly not going to happen now, but we'll see. I'm hoping I can make a decent chunk in this before the end of the week. I've only made 1 tab so far. It is like gone 9 o'clock now though, so I'm going to get ready for bed, because I have been out since like 5 o'clock this morning. So I'm gonna like get ready, go to bed, just sit in bed, and yeah, I think I'm just gonna read a load of this. So I will update you in the morning, and hopefully by then I will have made a decent chunk in this and we'll actually have something to talk about book-wise. Good morning, it is Friday, and last night and this morning I have managed to make a bit of a dent in Caught Up. I'm almost halfway through. I am up to chapter 19, which is page 180, and I feel now that this is going to be a 4-star read and not a 5-star. Miller and Kai were instantly attracted to each other, but with Miller kind of leaving at the end of the summer, and she's made that very clear, and Kai is the kind of guy that would fall fast. It's just best not to get too attached, as he definitely doesn't want his son getting attached to Miller with her gonna be leaving. And I'm just a little confused or not sure about the pacing of it. It's very into love, which I wasn't really expecting, and the attraction and chemistry was there from like the moment they met, but I'm just not too sure how I feel on the pacing of it. It feels like they haven't necessarily got to know each other, and it just feels very quick the way everything has happened, and they've kind of admitted their feelings now at this point. It just, I don't know, I feel like it's not as in depth of them getting to know each other as I would have thought, as I would have liked. I feel like when I read a romance, I want it to be realistic, and I'm not saying this isn't realistic, but I feel like there needed to be more depth between the two of them, other than the fact that they were just kind of attracted to each other. And she is obviously really good with his son, and his son does love her. I don't know, I just feel like there's something missing that's making me not love it as much as the others in this series. So at the moment, I think it has gone down to a 4-star. I'm hoping it will pick up and get up to a 5, but I am gonna try and maybe get to chapter 25 today. That feels like a good chunk out of it, which would be 276 pages. I don't think I'm going to finish this today. Read this, I'd be really interested to know on what you rated it and what your thoughts were. I know a lot of people do love this book, and like it's not bad at all, and I am enjoying it. I don't know, I just feel like there's something missing from it compared to the other two, but I feel this has been a lot of people's favourites in the series, so yeah, I'd be really interested to like hear what your thoughts were on this if you've read it. It's just gone 5 o'clock. I promise I've not been sat here all day, and I promise I don't sit here all day every day, because I feel like every time I come on to update I'm sat in this same spot. But surprising update, I have actually finished Caught Up. I have just sat and read it all day and I finally finished it. I've given it 4 stars. I did really like it. I really liked the concept of the story, and I just loved how Miller found a home with Kai and Max. And I just thought it was great to see when Miller had obviously these dreams and that she knew she was going to leave because of her career, and although Kai didn't want her to go because he was so in love with her, he never like begged her to stay because he just wanted her to be happy. And even if her being happy wasn't making him happy, or her decisions weren't the ones that he wanted her to make, he was fully gonna support her no matter what she was gonna choose. And I just really loved that. He was a great male main character, and I would say that this is probably my least favourite in the series so far, but of course like 4 stars is not a bad rating at all. That is still a really high rating, so I would definitely recommend this series if you haven't read any of them yet. I think my favourite is still definitely going to be The Right Move, which is the second book, and it was really nice to see the characters from the first and the second book in here to kind of see where they are at those points in their life now that their stories have ended. And that's just one thing that I really love about like interconnected standalones, so just getting to see little glimpses of the characters that you already love from their books. But yeah, this morning I didn't think I was going to finish this, and I thought this one book was going to take me all week, but I still have 2 days left of this week now, so I'm considering picking up a Kindle sports romance next because I have a load on there. But I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I don't want to dive straight into another book because I have read a lot today. If I do pick something else up tonight, I will let you know. But yeah, I think I'm going to go for something on my Kindle. I don't know about anyone else, but I always find that I read books on my Kindle so much faster than I do when they're physical. So I feel like if I pick up a book on my Kindle, I will be able to finish it within the 2 days, hopefully, if it's not a super long one. But yes, I finally finished a book this week, and I will update you when I choose my next read for the weekend. I've been going through my Kindle and trying to find the oldest sports romances that I have on my TBR, and I have found this one, which is Double Talk by Terrelyn Mitchell. This is a basketball romance. I think it's just under 300 pages. In this one we have the hero Zeke, who has had to come back to a small town after having an injury. He needs to go to rehab, or it could mean that he has to retire from basketball. And his former classmate Mallory, who is the heroine, is in this town. Okay, so it sounds like they're both on a dating app, and I think they match and talk on the app but aren't going to get along in real life until they realise who they really are. That sounds like the perfect thing for me right now. That just sounds like it's going to be really fun. There are 34 chapters plus the epilogue. It's been a while since I've read a basketball romance, but basketball is probably like one of the only sports I would actually sit and watch. I went to a basketball game when I was in Florida a few years ago and loved it. So I really do want to read more basketball romances because it was a really fun evening and I just love watching it. So hopefully this is going to be a good one. It is a Saturday afternoon. I made a start last night on Double Talk. I read the first chapter. I'm now up to chapter 6. The heroine Mallory goes by Rory, and she is actually an author, which I didn't know from reading the blurb yesterday, so that's quite exciting to read a book about an author. But she is kind of struggling to write at the moment, and as I said yesterday, our hero Zeke is a basketball player and he has had an injury, so he's going through rehab for that so he can return to the game. But they are in this small town together. They have a bit of a history. They were friends when they were in high school. They have been talking to each other on a dating app. They've been using fake names and they have agreed to meet up. Mallory says like, oh, I'll be wearing a purple beanie and I'll be sat like in the back corner of this cafe. So when Zeke shows up and he realizes that the person he's been talking to is Mallory, he runs away and she thinks that she has been stood up. And all of that's happened in the first 5 chapters. I thought it was maybe going to be like the identities were going to be kept a secret through the whole thing, and they were going to like stay friends online, and then at the end they were going to realise who each other was. I wasn't expecting for Zeke to kind of realise already that that is who he had been talking to, so I'm not too sure how this is going to play out, but I like the premise of it, so I'm hoping that I'm going to finish another book this weekend. Today I haven't really filmed anything. I went to our wedding reception venue this morning, so for our like food, we're not going traditional and we're going to be having a barbecue, and they had advertised online that they were going to be doing a barbecue, so I thought we'd go along and try it and, you know, make sure it was good. But it was actually last weekend and not this weekend. Me and Jamie, my fiance, we went there anyway. We had a drink and kind of sat outside in the garden bit and just had a look around the room where the reception's going to be, and just kind of made some plans and got some ideas for some decor, so it was still kind of productive even if we didn't get to try the food. Yeah, that's all I have done today, so I didn't really film any of that. And then this afternoon Jamie's family are all coming over for dinner, so again I probably won't film anything other than book updates today. But like I said, I'm up to chapter 6, so I'm going to see if I can get to chapter 10 before they come over. I would say at the moment I feel it's probably not going to be a 5-star. I think it's probably sitting at the 4-star at the moment, but we'll see how that changes. It's still Saturday night. I have got 26% into double talk and I am gonna DNF it. The female main character, basically the hero and the heroine have a history. They were friends when they were teenagers and something happened. I think he kind of ghosted her a bit when they were teenagers, and they graduated 15 years ago and she is still holding a grudge against him. And I understand that she is, you know, not happy and still resents him a little bit for it, but I feel like she's just taken it like way too far. He's asked her multiple times if they could start over, if, you know, they could just talk, and she just wants nothing to do with him. I'm a quarter of the way in, so honestly I can't really see by the way she's acting how they can end up together, because it just seems that she genuinely hates him, even though it feels like she's doing it a bit too much, and that's just kind of put me off a bit. But with these reading vlogs you will probably see a lot of DNFs with me, because I used to be someone that never DNF'd, and I'm just getting better at making sure that I'm only reading books I'm really enjoying, because if I'm reading books that I don't particularly like and I'm just reading them to get them finished, I find that I don't really have much to recommend. So I'm just like making sure that I'm reading all books that I love, and I just can't see myself loving this at the minute. It's maybe a 3-star and I can't see it being any higher, so I'd rather just DNF it. So I think, although I have like one more day left of the week for this reading vlog, I'm gonna end it here, because I'm not gonna finish a book between now and tomorrow. I do feel like I kind of failed, because I was supposed to be reading sports romance for a week, which I mean I did do, but I have still only finished one book. But I'm not going to beat myself up on that. It's been a busy week, so I'm glad I finished at least one book, and at least the one that I did finish was a 4-star, so I did enjoy it. It is like 9 o'clock, so I'm going to get ready for bed, because I think we are going to go up early and go car booting in the morning, so I want to get some sleep. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again next week with another video.